Hey everybody, Shannon here. I want to talk to you about my pivotal moments. Every single pivotal moment in my life began with music. From the time I was born a musician. Every single thing that happened in my life, whether it had to do with music or not, was because of playing music, because of music and musicians. Has anyone ever told you or someone you love that you're going to have 10 years left? Maybe not. But 10 years from the word terminal, 10 years filled with doctors, good ones, bad ones, indifferent ones, 10 years of being on autopilot. This is how I know for sure that you do what you have to do in your life. And that's how you're forced to see the world differently. It's been another 15 years since all of this happened. And remembering the lessons that all of that time taught me before this, before that, and remembering myself. My sister's record albums were my passion. Everything that had to do with singing was my passion. And in 1964, there were the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. I was 9 years old. It was amazing. It changed everything for me. I had already started taking lessons, music lessons, when I was 5 years old. And the biggest pivotal moment in my life was to know that I could play and sing. That's what I wanted to do with my life. That's what I did. So out of college in 1977, I left to go play music full time out on the road with agencies, with band. And it was my job in about 1980 to hire a guitar player because our guitar player was leaving. I hired someone over the phone. I spoke to this man over the phone, and it was just as if we already knew each other. It was a big pivotal moment for me, and I think for him as well. You know, the universe finds souls that have been together in the past, and it finds them on a path to bring them back together at some point for whatever length of time. The extensive road life is not what I'm here to talk to you about. What I'm here to talk to you about are the things that you absolutely have to learn about yourself and how other people make this possible. And if you don't recognize that you have to learn them, the universe hands it to you. The universe hands it to you whether you want it or not. You get it. Nothing makes people closer than playing music together. Watching the person that you spend 24/7 with, watching that person that you play music with, that you rehearse with, that you sleep with, that you eat with, that you have tremendous amounts of fun with, watching that person self-destruct is not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. When the big thing happened, we had to leave the road. That was after 16 years of me living that life on the road, living that other 9 to 5, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. exactly. Many things happened during those years that I had to leave the road. I was 38 years old, and I ended up having to become a caretaker for someone who was ill, terminally ill, but could get better, but decided that the demons were more important than getting better. So it never crossed my mind to leave or take off. What I did was what I had to do. I became a caretaker, but I lived my life at the same time. Many things happened. My 40s flew past. I remember everything, even though it was a blur. I did a lot of things. There were a lot of good things. There were a lot of bad things, but there were a lot of new things that the universe gave to me that I didn't do before. So this was some things that I had to learn because of another person. And at 5:15 a.m. on Christmas Eve, 2001, Bruce took his last breath. And the last thing he did, now I want to tell you, he was left-handed. The last thing he did was reach his left hand up to the sky as if to take someone's hand. I watched every single second of what happened to him throughout his passing. I spent every single second. I watched every single thing that happened to him. It wasn't sad. It was not sad. There were times that he was euphoric, and there were times that he was just peaceful. But the whole thing was very peaceful. It wasn't sobbing, sobbing, don't leave me. No one should be doing that. It was peaceful. It was what he needed to do, what he wanted to do, and what he had to do. It was the end of 44 years, which was his age, the end of this musical genius, brilliant, talented, self-indulgent, self-destructive, gentle, and creative. Probably the most gentle, creative person that I've ever known. The final 10 years of his life, we were off the road. We moved into Iowa City. I'm not originally from here, but this is where his family was. This is where his healthcare was. This is where we came. I didn't think twice about it. It was 10 years filled with hope, sadness, sort of searching and hopelessness, experimentation, and trying to find himself. He never could find himself. And he was an adopted person, and he wanted to find out what that was all about. Nothing could ever stop the demons. The demons stayed. I had to learn from each one of those pivotal moments. That was a big one. And even though every single step of my life has been a pivotal moment in changing me and the things that I do, this was a big one. And I never asked why me, ever. I just did what I had to do, and I still do what I have to do. But I also always did what I wanted to do. I had to fulfill me as well as become a caretaker. And that's what the key is. That's what the key is. You make them both work. You can't lose yourself in either one of them, or you can't do either one of them. There's a really, really long story with many little stories in between this one. But this is the one I want to tell you today because this is an important, pivotal step that changed my life forever. Thanks for listening.